Hi, I'm Bruno from Ceramics Today, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to do a pinch pot. We will do a planter pinching clay. So you need first about 180 grams of clay, dry air drying clay. So I cut a piece with a knife. And this is a air drying clay from Bath Potters Supply, and it has a bit of fibers inside, so it's nice. The touch is nice, but the fiber will make it stronger when it's dry. So you want to first of all form a ball in your hands, a nice round ball, and compact it well so that there's no air bubble or gap inside the ball. Once you've got it round, I'm using my right hand to pinch, so I put it on the ball in my left hand, and you start by pushing your thumb inside the ball, not completely, about, you can see about halfway, a bit more than halfway down. And then once you've got that, you're going to squeeze the clay slowly from inside, and then turning and squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn. I'm not doing it on the rim here, I leave the rim thick for the moment. Now squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn, and you need to leave about around 1 centimeter here at the base, so don't go through too deep. Squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn. You try to keep the wall as even as possible in thickness, and as you pinch it, the clay should come a bit up in your hand. You don't want to go too large, but you want to get the clay even, the wall even. It's better to go slowly and do step by step rather than pinching too strongly. Once you've got a bit done, you can just even the edge here and keep pinching it. So the shape should slowly get into a round shape with an even wall inside and a thicker rim, and still haven't worked on the bottom here, but it's get a bit flatter. It's very relaxing, like almost a meditation activity, pinching clay. You can do it by just thinking of what you're doing, but also you can do it watching a series or listening to a podcast, and it's a way to relax after work. It's a very therapeutic activity, playing with clay. So now I've got, you see that starts to get a bit shape of a planter. still need to keep on going slowly. What you can do at some point when the piece get bigger is flatten the base here and start to work on a flat surface. The flat surface is better, and I use like a cutting board, a bamboo cutting board or wood cutting board, which will be better because the clay won't stick on it. So you keep pinching it and pushing the clay slightly outward, but just gently. You can also change your hand if your right hand is tired, and then as you can see, this is like slowly taking its shape. So you don't want to go too thin on the wall. You want to keep as well the rim quite compact. So what you can do is slightly even the rim with your finger. When you go gently on the clay, it closes the holes in the clay. You see, it's just going very gently and easing the rim. And then once you've got enough space here, you can go with two hands. What I'm going to do is use another board which is a bit smaller. You can use a plate as well with a piece of newspaper in, so that you can turn it easily while you're doing your pinching. You want to go about half centimeter thick because we want to keep some strength to the pot. You see that I'm going checking the thickness around. Can use both hands. It's good sometimes to use the left hand, which is less strong, because then you pinch more gently your pot. Keep going, keep going. Try to keep the rim at the same diameter as the base here. You don't want to go too wide, especially for a planter. And have a look at the proportion. You want more or less the height equivalent to your diameter. If you do a planter too deep, you have, for a succulent plant it's not necessary. So now I'm just getting at the right thickness here. It's almost even. I'm checking a bit everywhere, and you can look on the side. You see your pot if there's some bumps, and you just compress them. Just compress the bumps to get an even shape. Okay, what I want to do now is the bottom. I want to flatten a bit the bottom. So you press with your fingers gently down, then you ensure that you've got a flat bottom and even thickness as well. So I've got a bit more clay on that side, so I'm pushing the clay a bit on this side to try to get it even. Now the bottom of the planter is even. I want to work a bit on that shape here. I want it to get it a bit more straight, so I'm going to gently push out the bottom part and push in the wall. You do that very gently because you don't want to push too much. Gently give the shape to the wall, a more straight shape. Okay, try to get the rim a bit more aligned with the shape here. And I'm trying to correct the dent here, pushing the clay towards it. You can actually compress the clay, and as you can see, I'm correcting the dent here, pushing clay inside and trying to get the rim a bit more even. I'm a bit thinner than half a centimeter now. I'm probably 4 millimeters thick, but it's okay because once the clay has dried it will be quite strong, but I don't want my planter to be too heavy. At the beginning you can go a bit thicker, it's not a problem. We can trim the pot later if needed. And what is important as well is to try to refine your pot as much as you can when it's still, the clay is still wet, because you can like smooth it. You can use, for instance, an old membership card and smooth the surface with it, because the clay being smooth, it's very easy to do. Once it's dry you need to sand it, so it's much more work. So I tend to spend a bit of time trying to refine my pot so that it has a good shape and a good finish as well. So I'm smoothing the surface with the card, correcting the shape wherever I need. but that's much more smooth now outside, so I might just do something as well in the inside and the rim. So the rim I can do it just with my fingers. You can just wet a bit your finger, very little water, and then use the water to smooth the rim. Let's make it much smoother now. That's better. You don't want to put too much water, otherwise it's going to stick a lot. But just a bit of water helps with the clay. And you just humidify your fingers together. Okay, so now we've got a good rim, not too thin, a bit more even. What you can do as well is use a small sponge, like this one, like a baby sponge that I've been using for months now. You dry it well and then you can smooth the clay with it. Just go gently. You can see there's a bit more bumps here that I'm going to correct. You hold the clay from inside when you press with your access card or membership card from outside, so that you don't collapse the wall. You can work in the inside of the pot as well with your sponge. It's very easy. You squeeze the sponge like this and you've got a very nice surface to flatten the clay inside. Obviously with a planter you don't need to care too much about the inside because it's going to be filled with soil or compost, but with other type of pieces you want the inside to be soft as well and well finished. But a planter doesn't require so much work inside. It's just ensuring that it's just clean and flat. Okay, now I'm happy with the rim, everything. I'm just checking if my planter is wrong enough. I think it needs a bit pushed here. Et voila. Now the pot is finished. I'm quite happy. You can check its shape here from the side. Sometimes it's good to get it at the level of your eyes, because you see this is a bit too high, so I'm going to cut it. Maybe with this. Because with the cut with the knife you can hold the wall. It's a bit better now. Okay, I'm going to smooth this now with my hands in a bit of water. You can always trim the rim when it's a bit more dry, which it's also a nice way to do it, but I think you need to get your piece as close as possible to its final shape before it dries. We're going to do some fit for the pot. So I get a bit of clay that I'm like compressing as a little sausage piece, trying to get it compressed well. Okay, I'm happy that it's well compressed. Now I'm going to roll it with my hand and my fingers just to try to give it the same diameter, like a little roll of clay. Try to get as even as possible. What you can do, you can open gently your fingers when you're rolling, so that ensure that your piece of clay, what is called a coil, is even. Now I've got this, I'm going to get a ruler and try to cut it without compressing the roll. I want to keep its shape round. So three centimeters each. That's it. So I cut through by moving the knife so that I don't change too much the shape. I want to keep it round. You see there's a bit of a hole, a gap here. Right. We want the 3 pieces to be the same size. I let the piece and its feet dry until the piece can stand on them. Once they are dry enough, I then attach the feet to the piece using a bit of water and scratching the area of contact between the two. I let it dry 24 hours upside down, and as you can see, the piece is now ready for decoration. Enjoy!